What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Truck Parking Clubhouse. I'm your guy, Lombard Truckin, and I'm clinging on to what is left of my voice as it starts to come back a little bit from the Mid-America Truck Show. So number one, before we get rolling, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who we got to meet over the weekend at the Mid-America Truck Show. Looking forward to getting a lot of those videos out, especially those driver interviews. We had such a great time hanging out with all of you guys. Big shout out to Trent Odie hopping on the line. He was on the live stream. Go follow him on YouTube. It was great to hang out with all of our partners, our customers, meeting property members, onboarding property members. Mid-America Truck Show 2026 is one we definitely won't soon forget, and we're already really looking forward to, and we'll gear up for 2027. Before we get rolling into tonight's Clubhouse, do want to let you know 37 minutes ago, taillights dropped in your inbox with recapping a little bit about what the DOT secretary had to say at the Mid-America Truck Show. He was joined by the FMCSA administrator, Derek Bars. And Sean Duffy came as a surprise, was not scheduled to be there, and he ended up being there to a lot of people's surprise, and it was really awesome to see. Also, we're no friends of billboard attorneys here at the Truck Parking Clubhouse, as well as at Taillights. We don't love billboard attorneys, but vengeance has been served against some billboard attorneys. Go check out that article in the Clubhouse. And also, if you read Taillights, I leave my contact information there. I do want your feedback for it. And I already got feedback from Taillights regarding billboard attorneys. And I would love to know if you know anything about this story. A gentleman reached out to me, said, I should look into Windy Hill Foliage Incorporated. He charges his employees for truck damages so he doesn't have to file insurance claims, but then pays his mechanics to fix the trucks. His trucks and most of the trailers will not pass DOT if you catch the cover-ups. Preaches about safety, but will run you dry. If they can make money and when something happens, it's always your fault, even though you expressed you didn't want to drive tired in the first place. If you guys know anything about that, let me know. And again, if you read Taillights, I mean it when I say, if you've got stories, something you're seeing on your end, pictures, again, I feature something from my family's old newsletter, Taillights, in there. I drop it in there as a little throwback, but we'd love to see pictures of your trucks, what you're doing. If you have any opinion pieces, I'd love for you to come write. It says it right in there. We love driver submissions. Taillights is a driver-focused newsletter for you guys out there over the road for just passing some information, as well as some partner codes and a great health tip for you. But without any further delay, bringing it to this week's guest on the Clubhouse, my very good friend, Trucker Misty. What's happening tonight?
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Man, it is going good. Coming off the high. I'm trying to keep my dopamine high from Mid-America Truck Show. Again, it's kind of like when I do, whenever you finish, like for me, anyways, whenever I do some races, like a marathon or anything, there's always this big buildup that leads towards it. And then you run the race and then it's over. And you kind of have this dopamine plunge. And I am trying to cling on the dopamine from the Mid-America Truck Show. And you were there as well. How was your time at Mid-America?
I'd say I'm not the only one that said this, and maybe you feel the same way because I know you guys have been there previous years. I think this year was one of the best years, hands down, in probably the last 5. It just felt like it was very culture, driver-based. It was awesome.
Good. I was going to say, so you've gone the last 5 years in a row?
6. Yeah, I've been to the last 6.
Great. And you think 2026 takes the cake?
Dude, did you see all those beautiful trucks when y'all parked your cab over out there? Did you see? It was just last year. It just seems kind of nobody really came. This year, it just seemed like everybody packed in there. Everybody brought their beautiful trucks. We got to see your cab over. It was very just nice.
It was good. Attendance was good. The weather was all right. Day 2, a little cold. Day 3, a little bit more tolerable. Day 1, weather was impeccable. So It was great for all the show trucks out there. Baseball Pro, he wants me to do a room tour. I'm curious. You want to see my room or you want to see Trucker Misty's truck? You let us know. We did a truck tour when just another OTR guy came on, but either way, would love to dive into it. You've been to 6 Mid-America Truck shows. I'd love to I'd love to hear the Trucker Misty story. How'd you get into trucking in the first place?
I had a mechanic tire shop, and it really wasn't paying the bills. So I have a bunch of friends that do it, and they're like, "Get into it." I'm like, "Fine, I'll get into it. I'll see what I can do." And I jumped into it, and I fell in love with it. I got hooked. Did my training at a company for 6 months. Then I went to a small guy. He's who sold me my truck. I've had it for 5 years, and then we just bought our first trailer actually at Matt's. we bought it. We'll start pulling that next week. So truck and trailer are going to be ours, and maybe one day we'll go all the way and have our name on the door. Maybe. But yeah, I've been hooked. It's just some days it's miserable. Well, like you said, that high, that dopamine, that's what I get, and doing it and doing the air horn out here for the kids. And it's just easy money most days.
There we go. I'd love to talk about that process. So you were working as a mechanic before you started driving, correct?
I was at a tire shop in Louisville, Kentucky, tire mechanic shop. We did small things like brakes, oil changes, nothing major, big. I owned it for 10 years.
Oh, you owned it?
Yeah, I owned it. Monkey Tires. You look it up. It's still on Google, but it says it's closed. But yeah, we owned it for 10 years.
That's awesome. And so you're from Louisville, Kentucky?
I am. I'm from Louisville, and now I live about 5 miles north, right across the bridge in Indiana.
Gotcha. Awesome. So you're born and raised there, hanging out, going into Louisville. So you're not even far from Matt's. You've always known it's been going on.
Actually, not until I got into trucking. I didn't know. First year I went the last day, and I'm like, well, this is cool. I'm definitely going to come check this out. And it's just been a family thing we do every year.
Yeah, it's interesting going out to a couple of restaurants after the show, meeting people there who weren't at the show. They'll be like, oh, where are you guys from? And we explain, I'm from Texas, a couple of guys from spread out across the U.S. They're like, what are you doing in Louisville? And we mentioned the truck show. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's almost as if the local residents didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. It's awesome. The same way with the farmers, the future farmer, the FFA thing they have going on. It's kind of a kept secret. I think it's like a week or two before Matt's. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. They don't know. They advertise so much to bring you guys in all the other states. They forget to advertise in the inside states.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Hey, shout out to any of the guys tuning in live, especially Gorasachi. See your comment there on YouTube. We appreciate your engagement in the live stream. Definitely helps us out at the Clubhouse. But so breaking down your trucking career. So it sounds like you've only had 2 employers. So you got your CDL. Did you pay your way through school? Did you sign on with a company that was helping you get through it? What was your avenue into getting your CDL?
I'm on the 3rd employer. I just went to flatbed, so we're on 3. I did pay $5,800, I think, when everything was said and done. I did $50 payments a week until it was paid off. I think it ended up being $5,800 there in Jeffersonville, Indiana, at a school. I recommend the school. The company's a little hard to work for. They're doing better. They're getting better freight, better contracts. But yeah, I paid out of pocket for it. And then I did my 6 months I needed there and switched over to a smaller company in Sellersburg, and I ran for them for basically up until the last 2-3 months. They had a shift in power, a shift in management, and I just didn't agree with it, and I wasn't making money. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to be young forever. It's time to get into flatbed. I've always been interested in the flatbed guys, and so I wanted to come over and see if I could do it. And I love it. I'm hooked.
Let's go. So you're moving flatbed freight right now. Where are you tuning in from, by the way? Actually, you're currently under a load.
I'm currently under a load of bricks in Ringo, Georgia, at one of your locations.
There we go. Love to see it. So, and we'll touch on that in just a minute. So you currently own your own truck. Do you have your authority?
I do not.
Okay, so you're leased on right now, but you did just buy the trailer.
I did buy the trailer. Yep, it's going to save me about $300 a month on owning it. And at the end of it, I own it. I don't have to pay a rental. Is this the company I'm running for? They keep it really good. They give you a 3,000 net guarantee if you run. That's net, not gross. And but unfortunately, they don't own any trailers, so you're paying the company that they use, and it's like $300 a week to rent a trailer. That adds up a month.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the carrier you're working for, where if you're, we love when partners come on the Clubhouse and kind of hype up some of the companies they work for, or brag on them a little bit. So, I mean, if you don't mind sharing who you're leased on to, kind of, if you don't mind telling us about the company you drive for, I'd love to give them a free pitch, just in case anybody watching on YouTube or on the Instagram is looking maybe for their next get up.
Absolutely. They're Southern Specialties. They're out of Dixon, Tennessee. They hire owner ops, and they're the only company out there that I see right now for owner ops. You don't, like I said, you can lease the trailer or you can bring your own equipment over. They haul 48 and 53 foot flats. They don't do anything else right now. They guarantee if you run your week, they're not asking you to do anything crazy. They guarantee you run your week, you're going to net take home 3,000. And I mean, so I had to jump on it. A couple of my buddies are going to come over. They're like, you be the guinea pig. And I mean, it's phenomenal. They got a dispatch team over there. I don't sit. I don't wait for loads. They're banging it. They're keeping me busy. And it's just very small, very family oriented. And they understand that at the end of the day, the whole purpose of why I'm out here is to make money.
Awesome. Where do you guys typically run?
They are mostly Southern freight. So they're Georgia. I just did Texas last week. They do Mississippi all the way down to Florida. So they're starting to venture north. I think they do all 48. But what I do is basically stay on the 65, 75 corridor. Like I said, I did take a load of Texas. It paid good in and out. But they will hire anybody in the 48 inland states. I know they do have some people that are out west, and then they'll work them down for a week or two, and then they'll get them home. They work around that. If you want to be home, they got guys that are home every night, girls that are home every night. We only have 2 girls that work there right now. But the guys, they got some that go home every night if that's what they want to do. I go home every weekend. I don't reset on the road. And then they got other ones that don't want to ever go home. Their home is their truck, and they run and reset out here on the road. So they definitely try to gear it towards what makes you happy.
Let's go. And what's your favorite part about the trucking industry? You described how you love it. You're passionate about it. What's your favorite part about it?
They just getting to explore. I mean, I know a lot of times you don't get to get out into these cities, but just seeing them, you drove, seeing Dallas at sunset or sunrise, and any of those big major cities when the sun is going up or down. It's just beautiful out here. It's peaceful. It's just, I don't know, seeing the sights that we get to see.
Something new every day. The moving office desk as opposed to staying stationary.
Right. Definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get kind of shifting gears a little bit into it. I mean, there's obviously parts of the industry we kind of don't necessarily love, but before we dive into that, how did you first hear about Truck Parking Club?
So first time I heard it, my wife and I were actually on our way to West Virginia, and we ended up there was some kind of wreck coming out of Kentucky. And we went to this, I was like, well, there's a pilot. Well, it turns out it's not a pilot anymore, it's a Love's. And there was a parking lot. I remember a parking lot being there. And I'm like, yeah, there's a parking lot. I know we'll find parking there. We pull in, and at first I was mad. I'm like, paid parking? What is this? I'd never heard of Truck Parking Club. So I'm like, $15, I'm out of time. I'm going to pay it. Everything's going to be good. I scanned it, and that was the day everything changed. I just figured you were that was just that lot. But then you guys sent me an email. Hey, come check out this. We have, and you guys were little at that. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. You guys weren't as big. And then so I left it alone for a little bit, and then I got, I don't know, probably 6 months later, was down to the last few minutes. Truck stop didn't have anything. So I was like, let's look it up. And then it's saved me. I don't know how many times. And now I look for it more than having to try to go to my hood's been taken off twice. One at a truck stop. I don't want my hood taken off. And y'all's parking lots, it'd be really hard to take out of some of these spots. It'd be hard to take a hood off. You'd have to really practice, and you guys make it easy and effortless, and it's changing the game. I'd rather give the property owner my money than have to give Pilot, where I just spent $800 in fuel. I have to give them, $25 to park for 10 hours. And they don't even guarantee my parking, because some of them don't even come out and regulate the parking. I paid you $25, but you let somebody park in a spot for free. It's never happened to me at a Truck Parking Club. I've never not had a spot anytime I've booked with you guys.
Absolutely. So you've lost 2 hoods, and these are trucks that you own?
Yeah, it was actually this truck. Yeah. So both passenger side. I don't know what it is about my passenger side. People just I got a hidden target over there or something. But yeah, a tanker did it at a TA. That guy, I kind of give it to him. He was having a bad day, and he was trying to make it over to the shop. But it was the middle of the day at 1:30, and it was an empty parking lot. But yeah, he ripped it off, messed the wheel up, the hub up, and then the next guy. The company I actually trained for out of Jeff, one of their drivers, just plowed into it. I mean, he just backed up, and luckily I wasn't in the truck. I was walking back from closing my doors to the trailer. I was pulling drive in, and I'm like, why didn't my trailer shake? And then, yeah, sure enough, his whole trailer is in my truck. And I was like, how? So yeah, it's that peace of mind, especially, you know, all of your owner ops watching it, these insurance companies, they take our money and then they don't. I mean, it puts us down. Like, I don't have 20,000 sitting around that I could take off and wait for my truck to get put back together and the insurance to decide if they want to cover it or if they want to wait for the other insurance company. So it's a lot of peace of mind parking somewhere that's quiet, gated. You don't get the big mainstream truck stops, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say when you had your hoods taken off, how long were you down for? What was it like getting fixed? I mean, how were you able to come back out?
The first time I was able my company actually brought me a tire and a rim up, and they put it on, and we drove it back. I was only like an hour from it. The company I was running for, National Distributors out of Sellersburg. They're a good company if you're looking for a company, and they do have some owner op positions. Like I said, I ran for the guy for almost 7 years, 6 years, 6.5. But he let me go in a rental, and the truck was down. That time, the truck was down for 7 weeks. It was at the body shop because I drive a 2016 Freightliner Columbia glider. So the bedazzle clip on the lights and something, I think it was the rim, he couldn't get a matching set or something. And, you know, I wanted them to match. I wanted the tires to match. So we were waiting on that. So 7 weeks on that one. The other one was pretty easy. I just did not open my hood until I got back to the yard. I dropped the trailer. I took it over to a new body shop, and they had a new hood put on. I had to get a new hood, new bumper. That time he hit it so hard he shoved everything over, the mounting brackets. I was able to save the headlights, I think, are the only thing that stayed on, and then it had to be painted and everything. But that one, they got it out. They did it in like 3 days. I
There we
think it was
go.
like 3 days. So I wasn't out very much on that one. And the that insurance company, they admitted fault, and that one was paid out. I actually got paid for my 3 days I was off and all of the damages and everything. The other one we're still fighting for. I'll probably never see money on that. But yeah, I was lucky. The guy I was running for let me borrow. He let me rent for like $350 a week. I think I rented his truck. He let me rent one of his trucks nobody was running in.
Well, good. I'm glad you're able to make it out of it. Got to give a quick shout out, real quick, to Aurelius on Facebook. Thanks for dropping in to say what's up. Terrell Howard on LinkedIn. He says their truck stop still charging. Thought they were done away with. Love's TA or Love's does not charge, Terrell, but yes, like Pilot, TA, Petros, they do have reserve parking at most locations. I'm not sure. You know, there's still plenty that probably have all free, but yes, they do. The flaw in the system is where they have reserved parking. You can, just like Trucker Misty says, which has happened to me before too, you can reserve it all you want. But if you get there at 7 p.m. and that lot's full, there's really nothing you can do on it, which is kind of the perk of Truck Parking Club, where we do have some locations, like we have some of our locations that are at like gas stations and small travel centers. You do have to be physically parked, and this is how we avoided it. You have to be physically parked at that establishment. Then you would scan the QR code and pay to park, as opposed to doing it beforehand. But the majority, 97% of our locations, you are able to book and reserve ahead of time, within like you can do it like 2 weeks out, if not longer. So check it out. So appreciate you jumping in. Would love to ask you. I know you're at one of our spots in Ringgold's. Any of our locations stand out to you that have helped you out, or one of your favorites?
Yeah, I have to say, I really want to go stay at this one again. And it wasn't like at first you pull in, it's nothing special. Was loading, the load got messed up. So we were waiting for the broker to approve if we were going to take the load, because a couple of pieces of vinyl had got messed up. So we were just making sure. So I ran out of time. So I'm like, I got on my app, boom, Cincinnati, Ohio. So we pull in, like I said, it's a gated lot. Nothing special. Guy has a porta potty. Wouldn't think anything. I just need a place to do a 10, and then I needed to roll. Well, we pull in. We're there. The wife's with me. We check the straps and everything, and then we're sitting in the truck, and we're just talking. And she's like, "Well, there's not really anything to walk to." And so we were talking about dinner, and some guy comes walking up to the truck. So I go up to the seat, and I'm like, "What's up, man? Maybe I'm not in the right spot or something." He said, "Hey, feel free to get out of your truck." and I don't know if I just like to support, like I said, I had a small business. I love to support the small business. He went out of his way. And the reason why I say that is it was completely grappled. He gave you stuff to support your landing gear if you wanted to drive your trailer. But where his property backed up was a river. And he cut out a crate. I cannot wait to go back and do this. I wish I would have took a photo of it. But he cut out this crate that he has facing the river, and he put a gym in, and he allows any driver that parks in a spot to use that. It's so peaceful. He tells you to bring your own fishing pole if you keep them in the truck, because it's right there on the river. I mean, not enough that you're going to flood or anything. You don't have to worry about that. And he has the cleanest porta potty. He had a little office that he set up on, it has a microwave, a little bit of air conditioning. I mean, he went out of his way, and then in his shop during the day, he has his own shop. He'll change your tires and he just went above and beyond. He could have just put a little lot out there with a little gravel and told you to park and all that. Like that, just the gym stood out to me. I mean, that was just so thoughtful, because out here we don't eat, right? We're all eating cheeseburgers, driving down the road, drinking soda, but I mean, it was just thoughtful. You get out of your truck for a few minutes and you could be your peace looking at the river. It really just stood out. I mean, I'll have to go back and review that one for sure.
Yeah, and also when we get off the live stream, I'd love for you to send me that listing, because that's okay. That's a property we'd love to highlight. I'd love to highlight that too, especially you said that was down in Alabama, right?
No, it's Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, that's right. I'm looking at Ralph's comment. Ralph was mentioning a spot in Alabama. This guy was up in Cincinnati. So good to know. We'd love to highlight some of those property members doing a little bit extra, offering a little bit more. And I mean, that's the thing. I don't even think because on the app, which if people don't know, you can cycle through amenities in case you need to fit oversized or hazmat, whatever it is you need. But we don't have an amenities filter for fishing. So this is a good one to know on. Where you can get some truck parking and some fishing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're technically you're on private property. So could they say anything if you cast it into the river there because you're on his property? I don't know how it works in Ohio. Yeah, every state's different, but no, he was just he didn't have to come out to the truck and speak. He could have left us alone, took his money, and went on about it. It's just he went out of his way to make sure we were comfortable. It was just, it was just nice. I'd rather, like I said, I'd always rather give my money to the mom and pops. I give my money enough to the big name truck stops just in fuel, or, God forbid one of these straps break out here and it's my extra one. You're going in, you're paying extra for a strap or something, they're getting my money, but the little guys don't get enough praise.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah. I know our good friends at the Corvette couple, they kind of described our platform in the marketplace as a small business connector. So it's a great mindset to have going into it. And yeah, those strap markups are tough for baseball pro. He's asking how much is it for parking? It definitely varies on where you're at in the country. Average anywhere from $15 to $25 daily rates. It really depends. Rates are set up by the property owner themselves. And he also asked, what's the favorite part about being a truck parking club? And it's that we're solving the industry's biggest mission. Let's see. Jason, appreciate you jumping in. Respect to you. He's telling you, Misty, to drive safe out there. So, Jason, appreciate you jumping in to say what's up and kind of moving on again. So, you love everything about the industry. I got to ask you, parking obviously is our main concern. So parking can't be your answer. What do you think is one of the biggest issues in the industry that needs to be fixed? Or what is something that you're working on to help change, or something you want to see change?
I'd say right now, I'd have to go with what everybody's probably going to say, and that's getting everybody. It's not so much it's getting all the bad truck drivers out. We need to be all consistent. We all need to know how to read our road signs. We need to know how to speak clearly. We need to be safe out here. Our families are in these, and you drove. These are 80,000 pound, sometimes you're hauling stuff that'll blow up a whole city like Cincinnati. And then you have to know how your brakes work. You need to know the ins and outs of your truck. And we need to figure out how to get everybody on the same level to where we're all safe. Because it's not just the people that don't speak English are the problem, because I've met plenty of people that speak English just clear at you and I, and they're not very smart. They should never be behind a truck. So we need to like figure out these truck schools that are just, you can pay extra and you get your CDL and you walk away and they don't actually train you. We need to figure out somehow without messing up, because like when logs come, it kind of messes a lot of people up, but it kind of prays others. So I don't know how you could fix it without messing it up. But we definitely got to get the bad drivers out. I mean, we have to be able to know that our families can drive on these roads and safely get where they're going without worrying about somebody with their phone in their hand. You don't need to hold your phone in your hand. If you can't put your phone down to drive, we usually drive, couple hours at a time. We take a break, go to the bathroom. You can check your phone then. If you can't do it, you don't need to be in this industry. Go do a desktop or something. You don't need your phone in your hand. It's crazy.
Absolutely. So kind of you'd narrow that down to like driver training and development.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, there's especially at Mid-America and then other conferences. We were at Freight Tech conference last month at Manifest in Las Vegas. And, and we promoted in taillights, and we had author Gord McGill over at our booth selling his book, End of the Road, which, by the way, to any of you guys watching, it's fantastic kind of memoir piece that pays homage to the industry, but also really it pays homage to the industry and quarterback from Gord McGill telling his thoughts and what he's researched as he's written on it throughout his 20, 25 plus trucking career. And the way we've seen things go since 1980, for example, with technology is, we have we're surrounded by driver facing cameras, technology, and is the answer to the phone thing. I almost have in my mind where I think the future could be what the truck won't, like, you'll have to put your phone in some sort of secure box for the truck to start. Like I'm curious if those conversations are already happening, which again, then it just falls in line with another regulation on a driver where you're kind of, where zooming out, I think a lot of drivers would agree, like, yeah, hey, the phone should go in the freaking some sort of lockbox. You can't start the truck or you can't put it in drive until it's in this box, or you can't touch it. But now we're talking about just something else to pry away from kind of drivers. Again, it's kind of nanny stating the more technology on the drivers, when really we just need to be training and developing them to have the, if the phone's going to be there, I mean, having it on the vent with a certain GPS or anything, again, you're taking away what could be a tool because it's being taken advantage of. And the answer isn't more technology or restrictions. It should be better training, development, and bringing people in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, because like we use our phones for, you can turn your YouTube on to listen to, music as you drive, or like you said, there's different apps out there that people use, like Trucker Path, or Hammer. They need a phone for that, or a tablet, and locking your phone up. It's just, I don't know, like maybe we can show people what happens when you're distracted. Actually show them the raw footage of these people that have been hurt. Maybe seeing that might get it through their head, because a lot of people, oh, that won't happen to me, I know how to drive. And it could happen at any second. Your head has to be on a swivel out here at all times when you're driving, so I don't know, maybe we could just teach them. I don't know how to fix it. Like you said, how do you fix it without adding a bunch of more regulations and make the drivers that aren't doing anything wrong not be miserable? It's one of those things. Can it be fixed? I have no clue.
For sure. Last question I got for you, because can't take up your whole night. I know you got to get ready to get back after it. But what is if you could either, what would be your advice? I always say, like, what would it be like to go back and or what would you tell yourself and go back? But better than that, if you were talking to, what is your advice to anybody who's looking to get into, say I'm, hey, Misty, I'm into school, I'm about to get my CDL next week. What's your advice?
Run? No, I'm just kidding. I always tell everybody starting out, just know you're the grunt. Everybody starts out. You're going to get lower paying. Most of the time you get stuck in a big name company. If you can keep your head down and just keep your CDL clean, don't get any tickets, don't get any violations, and know when to stand your ground. I did a lot of things for my first 6 months of training that could have ended badly. I ran over my hours because the company told me I had to, and if I didn't, they were going to cut my pay. Just know to stand your ground and be like, it's not safe. don't do it. But get your year in, and then the door opens up to a lot of smaller companies where you're going to get better pay, better benefits. Just stick with it. Keep your head down. Try to find a decent company with better reviews. But just know that first year is the hardest. You're going to go through your highs where you feel really good, and then something as simple as your family member calling, you're going to be going through your lows. You go through the high, low depression. You go through that all the time in trucking, but you learn how to cope with it a little bit better. But just that first year, if you could just keep it down, keep, no tickets, no violations, no warnings, just try to learn and take it slow. That after the first year, it just seems to kind of get easy. That first year is the hardest.
Well said. Yeah, you get through the first one, the door opens. Well, hey, Misty, I appreciate you coming on the Clubhouse tonight. Number one, it's the first time, will not be the last time. We do love to get everybody circling back to update us on whatever properties they're saying at, what's going on their side of the industry. Again, the Clubhouse exists the same way taillights exist. Taillights is driver focused. Clubhouse exists to also be driver focused, to have drivers on telling us about what their life is, what they're going through, how they're, what their stake in the industry, who they are within the industry. So it's really important to bring you guys back on to tell us about what's going on your side and your link in the chain. And to everybody else who is watching tonight, thanks for jumping on to the Clubhouse. Again, we're here every Monday night around 7:30ish p.m. Central Time, and we come on here with our partners, our individuals who are out there spreading the word about what we do at Truck Parking Club. Somebody like Trucker Misty, they want to help leave this industry better than they found it, which is exactly what we're doing here at Truck Parking Club. We help truckers save time and fuel by working with existing property owners, so that way they're able to instantly reserve and book truck parking nationwide, so that they don't lose hoods. They have peace of mind. They can find some safety or utilize their clocks to their best ability. And if you need truck parking tonight, again, you can use that code right at the bottom of the screen. You got Misty20 for $20 off. But with that, guys, that'll do it for this Monday night's Clubhouse. Stay safe. We'll see you next week.